I only became an entrepreneur because it was the greatest challenge I could take on as far as my personal education, personal development.
Yeah.
And it wasn't to make money, and as I said, my first business was a nylon and Velcro surfer wallet business, and the mistake I made, I was successful. And we grew internationally so fast, I just couldn't finance my success. And so I started borrowing money, and which was good. I started to learn how to raise capital. I learned how to negotiating. And the reason I was in Korea fighting Taekwondo was I was out there negotiating anyway for production, because we were manufacturing in Hawaii, where the cost of manufacturing was too high.
Sure.
So I had to fly to Korea and Taiwan to negotiate manufacturing. I tell you, man, you're not stupid until you're negotiating against Koreans and Taiwanese, man. Those guys had me coming and going up one side and down the other. But that's what I did it for.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's to learn. And to learn to finance, learn how to factor, how to ship and then factor my inventory and all this stuff. I learned so much as I was going broke, successfully going broke. And so when I explain to young people, that's what I did it for. That's how you get smarter. So I always say to young entrepreneurs, it's not, money will never make you rich. It's your experience, how much you learn, the mistakes you make, the people you make. And although there's horrible experiences, they're all good experiences if you learn from them.
Sure.
And that's the attitudinal difference of an entrepreneur. Most guys are small business guys, they're not entrepreneurs. They open a pizza shop to make money and they get stuck in that pizza shop forever. Well, that's not me. And the subject of entrepreneur is a massive subject. So I joined the U.S. Marine Corps and went to flight school, and that's when I realized the value of education. Yeah. See, if you're going to be a pilot, go to flight school. You're going to be a doctor, go to medical school. You're going to be a dentist, go to dental school. Where do you go if you want to be an entrepreneur? And the other thing too is, when I was in flight school, you could already tell the good instructors, because the good instructors had just come back from Vietnam. They were up to date.
Yeah.
They were saying the damn Viet Cong, they changed this, they changed that, and so the U.S. Marine Corps and Navy syllabus was sending down, you should fly this way. This guy said, don't you fly that way, you'll be dead tomorrow. Because the Viet Cong was changing, we had to change. So just one example, I was a gunship pilot. We'd come in at 1500 and roll in. And then the Russians gave the Viet Cong was thing called an SA-7. It's called a Strela in Vietnam, and the Taliban used it against the Russians in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
So if you came in at 1500 with this new technology called the SA-7 or the Strela, you were dead meat. You're coming in too high.
Huh.
So a Viet Cong with absolutely no training at all, just point, pull the trigger. This heat signal went up right up your tube, blew you out of the sky. So we're in flight school learning how to fire guns and rolling in from high, and these instructors are coming back, you do that, you're going to be dead. And that's where I learned the value of technology and education and the best teachers.
Sure.
So suddenly the teachers were telling us to come in at 1,500 feet on a gun and rocket run. We were saying, you're going to be dead. And so they were trained to come at what's called defilade. We had to fly below tree level. So everything was changing so fast, and that's when I really understood education better than anything else. Is education supposed to prepare you for the real world? And what's the real world of an academic? The greatest thing about an entrepreneur is how fast can you learn. When you look at the 7 deadly sins, the biggest tragedy is ego. So ego or vainglory is the road straight to hell. And so you got to, I tell you I made mistakes. I tell you I screwed up. I'm definitely on the short list for saint. But you better be honest, and people trust you, and you better keep your word. You're only as good as your word.
Yeah.
So actions and words must be in integrity. So like I'm saying, I encourage anybody listening to this or any entrepreneur, get to the point where you don't need money. It's called the infinite return. When you get to the point where you don't need money, you're home free. You'll never need money. You don't care. You can always put a deal together. You can always create an asset out of nothing. It's like, I don't know what else. It's the power of God-given power. real estate is my first deal was I bought a condo on the island of Maui for $18,000, and I gave him a credit card to put the $2,000, so $1,800 10% down payment, and I made $25 for it. So I made $25 from no money at all, 100% debt. I love debt. The average guy's afraid of debt. So it's just mindset. It's what you know, how you practice. I have made a lot of mistakes. I've never lost money in real estate. Never. Because I invest a lot in my financial education in real estate. Why? Debt and taxes. The more I can use all the debt I want and pay no taxes. I love it. I love it. There's a God somewhere. Why would I buy stocks? I don't understand that game. You can make money quickly.
Sure.
And stocks are good because they're illiquid. I mean, they're liquid. You can get out of the stocks real quick, and real estate's dangerous because you can't get out of it. But that's why I've got to study more. So anyway, I the biggest thing I can say to any entrepreneur is learn. Be an active learner, low ego. It's tough when you're successful, because when my nylon and vertical surfer bullet business went to the moon, I was crashing down right after it. Well, the pensions are bankrupt. They're gone. My father, my poor dad worked for the government, and he lost his pension in 1972. And he still told me to go and get a job and all that. So my poor dad became a poor man when he lost his job, his paycheck, and his pension.
How did he lose it? Like he just got
He ran against the governor. See, the governor was a crook. John Burns, police officer. If you read the book, Sunny Sky, Shady Characters, you'll find out exactly this. He's an investigative report, forget his name now, but he said everything my father was saying to me. They're all buddies. Shady Sky, Sunny Characters starts with Don Ho. Nice Don Ho. They were all in cahoots. Supreme Court justices were all in cahoots with Kamehameha schools, the most richest school system in America for Hawaiian kids. And all these estates just ripping people off. So my father, after he became the governor's staff, resigned. And he said, I cannot, in good conscience, ethically, morally, and legally, I cannot be part of your staff. So he made the mistake of running against him. This is while I was in Vietnam, defending the country from I don't know who. But anyway, I come home and my father's bankrupt. He's bankrupt. No pension, no paycheck, no job. And he's still telling me to go back to school, get my PhD. I was like, I'll wind up like you. He said, go fly for the airlines. You read who stole my pensions? My guys, my friends who flew for United, they're all broke. Nobody knows this.
Right, but why is this happening to everyone that has a
all
pension?
Over the world.
Okay.
It says back here on the back of who stole my pension. What's America's #1 export?
Toxic assets.
Derivatives. Still manufacturing.
So,